Welcome back to the second part of our animal eye drawing. I started with the grid last time. We drew the grid 9x9 square with 3-inch lines for the grid. So you have 9 squares in the grid that match up with your photorealism, with your photo to make a photorealism image of a drawing. Now the next step that I'm going to show you though is drawing the outline shapes, which we did talk about last time, of your eye. So I took a look and I drew the lines for the outline of each shape in the eye, like the pupil and the reflections in the eye, and where the fur covers part of the eye or borders the eye, along with the eyelid shape and the dark shadows of the different colors of the eyelid. After I did that, I'm going to show you the first steps of coloring. Now, I'm suggesting that you practice on another piece of paper and that you color with light colors first and then slowly add the dark colors. And I'm going to show you the first few steps. I have these colors of yellow and light green to start because the yellow and the light green are the lightest colors. Aside from the fur, which is going to be last. First, I'm going to focus on the eye and work my way out. So to get these colorations, I did light yellow, medium yellow, and lime green, or a light yellow green. Okay, so starting with the yellow first, I'm focusing on these yellows on the corners, and when I color left and right, and I'm coloring lightly with my pencil. I'm not pressing super hard. If I press super hard with my colored pencil, it's going to be too dark with too many layers on my paper, and I won't be able to add any more color because it'll be filled in. Another thing that I'm going to suggest that you do now is erase the grid lines in your eye to the best of your ability, because they're going to show through if you have any light colors that you're adding on top of it. So before you add color to your iris of your eye, erase those grid lines to the best of your ability. They're easier to erase if you don't draw heavy. I drew heavy to begin with so you could see the lines up close on camera. So this one is going to look really good, and this one that I'm showing you right now is going to look so-so. And that's okay. So I started with this yellow, which is the lightest color, and now I'm going to add the mustard yellow or the golden yellow, and I'm going to cross hatch. So cross hatching is when you take your pencil and you color this way, left direction, and then you color this way. You're going to add layer and layer of light colors over and over like this. You might go up and down to add a different color, or left to right to add a different color, but you're going to go up and down, side to side, left to right. You're not going to do this because that's too hard, and you're going to fill in your paper with all of the color from your pencil. Okay. Another tip is to sharpen your pencils with a separate sharpener instead of an electric sharpener. If you use an electric sharpener on colored pencils, it will crack and break the pencil like this. And if it cracks the pencil, it has a very high chance of breaking the pigment, the color inside the wood. And because colored pencils are made with just pigment and wax, you don't want that to crack. It's brittle. You can use a electric sharpener for using your regular #2 pencil because it's a heavier duty material. Okay, so I'm using a handheld sharpener, and I'm adding golden to the areas that I can see this golden color, and I'm matching my pencils up by putting them right next to my photo, my printout. If you have a photo printout in color, great, you can do this. If you have a computer, it'll be a little more challenging for you to just look at the computer screen of your image with color. It's easier on paper, on a printout. So I can see that this golden color is right here, but it's not over here. Okay. Also, I'm adding all of the light green to any of the light green areas of my eye, not where the blue is, but the light green areas. So for example, I might have light green down here. Okay. But I'm not going to have green everywhere. So I'm just going to put color where the green shows and color where the yellow shows. The yellow is actually throughout most of the eye. So I'm going to start with yellow and work my way up to green. Now, I will be honest with you, when I was adding color to this eye, this took me a couple hours just to get this much color on the eye, which was all the yellow, dark and light yellow, and then it was the light green, and then it was blue. Blue was after I got these down. These are the first 3 colors I did everywhere in the eye. And you can see next to the eye, I did add around the eyelid, I add a pale skin tone here and some gray and black. But that was after I got the eye mostly done. So you can see some of the fur starting to emerge. You'll also notice that around the part that I have reflection that I drew on my eye, like right here, I drew the outline of where the reflection was for that shape. I'm not adding any color in it. I'm coloring around it. Okay. Even if you're tempted, don't use a marker or a Sharpie or a pen to fill in the black areas of your eye. We're only using colored pencils to color this entire animal eye. Okay, and fur, all of it. So I'm gonna show you the rest, and I'm gonna be quiet for a little bit while you see these steps and until I get to the blue, so you can see what I'm talking about. And it does take several hours, so I'm not gonna do all of the eye. I'm just gonna show you some of the eye steps around the corner of the eye that I'm working on right here, okay? So I didn't erase all of my lines because I drew heavy. I'm hoping you can erase all of your grid lines so you don't see them. So again, notice I'm cross hatching left and right, up and down, and I'm picking up my pencil as I draw these colors and add color to them. If I were to press really heavy, I wouldn't get to blend any other colors with it. So here's my golden yellow, and I'm only going to put it in the corner where I see this golden color here. I do see some over here, so eventually I will put some of that over there. All right, and there, but not yet. So let's just look at this one part. So after I do that, I'm going to add the green, because there is some green in here. The nice part about layering your colors is that you can see all the detail of those areas where the color shifts and changes in the eye. Some eyes look different, so the color may be around here and then it's lighter on the outside, or there's more reflection, so you have to look at your eye to see what it looks like. Okay, so I'm adding some light green to the yellow, and when I look here, it's kind of like a long shape that extends for the green. And then I'm going to do some teal before I put the blue down. So see, there's some teal in the middle of this eye right here. I would do more yellow and light green before I got to this point, but I wanted you to see the next step of color. Okay. The other thing that I would suggest that you do is just put color in the iris of your eye before you do any dark black in the center for the pupil. And the reason why is because if you add the dark black first, say you have to adjust it and fix it, you won't be able to erase black to fix it later. So start with your lightest colors and get darker as you go. So I put my colors in a row to see which is the lightest. And then when I want to have the blue is going to be darker than teal. So those are my colors, and I'm matching them with the photo. So here's the blue. When I do the blue part, you'll see this part. I'm going to add blue in layers on top of the teal. And I'm also not pressing too hard. Because I want to be able to go back and add more of the teal, or maybe some light green in there. Okay, so let's see, light green. I can still add the light green because there's room. I haven't filled it all in with all of my colors, so I can add light green to it. When I add the light green on top of this teal, it's blending it really nicely, which is really good, and that's what I want to do. I want to add those colors together as I layer back and forth, left and right, side to side. Okay, so you're going to do this around the pupil, all the way around. You're going to avoid these areas that have a reflection. So I drew them with pencil first, and now I'm going to put color around them. But I'm going to leave that empty because it's white, just like the paper. Okay. Eventually, when you get all the light colors down, you're going to realize I need darker areas. So eventually, you will add the dark areas after you get all the light areas done. This would not happen now. It will probably happen after an hour of coloring. Okay. Then I would add this dark blue more because there's a lot more dark blue in the center. Okay, so this is the first step of coloring. I'll have another demo to explain to you the fur, but we need to focus on our eye before we get to the fur. Okay, everybody? So please finish this before you get to the dark eye and the pupil, the black part of the pupil, and before you get to the outside. Now, I do suggest also coloring the skin tone, whatever that skin tone is around your eye, that is the eyelid area. So maybe your eyelid area has got brown in it. Maybe it has some skin color in it. So you're going to look in that photo and find what is the lightest hue of color in there before I add the dark colors. It's not going to be all gray. It's going to have some skin tone in there as well. Maybe you have light gray and dark gray, or maybe there's a light gray and dark black, but the black will happen eventually. First, it'll be the lightest gray or the lightest shades colors first. Okay. Okay. All right, everybody, thank you for watching, and I hope this helps you get started on your color of your eye. We'll watch for the next video to show you more color added for around the eye with the fur or scales or feathers, if you have feathers around your eye, depending upon what animal it is for the skin or fur around it or texture. Okay, have a great day, and we'll talk again. Thank you.